Home. It's a place that should be safe. But for those experiencing intimate partner violence, it's the most dangerous. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. I tell myself again, I would never let her talk to me like that.
I would never let him talk to me like that. If he hit me, I'll just leave.
Just leave. Get in the car and go.
Get in the car and go.
But then I freeze.
Where will I go? Who will I call?
Who will even believe me?
Everyone thinks my life is okay because I've hid it for so long.
They just don't know the truth. It will be so hard to convince them.
There's no way they will believe how bad it's gotten. I feel so lost.
I have nothing I can do.
We'll fight for the kids. Where do I get money? He knows where I work. I'll have to get a new job. I'm stuck here. I need help more than ever.
Leaving just isn't easy.
Leaving just isn't easy.
I woke up one day and I was in excruciating pain in my stomach, and I've never felt like that before at all. And I started to get really lightheaded, and so I ran into the bathroom and I almost passed out. So I jumped in my bathtub with full clothes on to wake myself up. And I was like, this isn't right. And he was there and he's like, oh, it's probably fine. You're fine. It's okay. So I went back to lay down for a little bit, and I literally had to have so much pressure on my stomach because I was in so much pain, and I fell back asleep for a little bit. When I woke up, the pain was still there. So I called my dad and I said, I need to go to the emergency room. There's something not right here. So my dad took me to the emergency room, and when I walked in, I went to check in and I fainted right there. The nurse came in and she said, you have a collapsed lung and a re-ruptured spleen. There was a nurse that came to talk to me after I was admitted, and she said, you weren't in a car accident? And I said, no. And she said, honey, who's beating you? And I said, what? Because I'm always used to just lying for him. That's what I always did for him. And she said, you have things wrong with you that are caused by a car accident or something severe like that. She said, are you getting hurt at home? And I broke down to her and told her, and she said, you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves to get treated like that. A minute later, my ex called me and said, well, what's wrong with you? And I said, well, you did enough. And he started laughing. He says, I hope you die while you're in there because you deserve it. And that was the breaking point for me. I was done at that point. I didn't have anybody to call. So who did I call? I called his neighbor because they were friends with me and I knew they'd come get me. So I ended up at their house, 2 houses away from him because I had nowhere else to go and didn't want to be alone. And he showed up a little bit later, and I kind of told him I was done. And I was stuck under his web again. I don't think there were any resources, at least I didn't know at that point, to help me get out of my situation. I feel like no matter where I went, he was always there. So if having someone know that there's resources there for them would help. Calling somebody, professionals that help with that.
I stayed at home with my kids, and my 4-year-old daughter comes over to me and gives me a hug, and she's I thought I was keeping it together. I thought it wasn't obvious that I was upset at all. And she just gives me a hug and she says, "Mom, one day you're gonna meet a boy that treats you nice." And I remember thinking, she sees it. And she knows it's not okay, and she's only 4. That was the moment I knew I had to leave, for my kids, for myself. If my daughter hadn't showed me that she knew it was wrong and that it was okay for me to be happy one day, I could still be there, and it would be a lot different in my life right now. I am so grateful for that one moment.
When I met with Lori over at the Iowa Coalition, she was able to share a lot of the programs that I had been told weren't there were there. And a lot of the resources that I was told weren't there are there. And a lot of the communities that I was missing, I was finally embraced in. And in hindsight, after I had survived it all and lived through it all and didn't lose myself, I found the Iowa Coalition and all the different programs, and the chaos finally ended.
You have those interactions that you know something's off here, but we stay quiet because it's not our business. But when you've been through it, it is your business to say how you're being treated isn't right. It's everybody's choice to, and everyone is enough. Like, everybody deserves to be happy. Love is not abuse at all.
There's some women that can't get resources. There's some women that don't have family, or they think that their family doesn't care about them anymore because their significant other told them that nobody loves them and that they're the ones that are there for them. So having resources for these women will get them help, because when you're in that situation and you think you're all alone, even if you're not, it's good to have someone that's outside of the box to help you.